Hello, I'm the Action Network's best kept secret, Ryan, Rich Fat Baby McKee, and I'm here to host a USFL version of 5 in 5, where football gamblers will get 5 best bets in 5 minutes for their new favorite spring sport. And making their debut on the Action Network's YouTube page are 2 USL betting experts from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. We've got Adam, the pragmatic preppy Pelletier, and Rod Roland Voltage via Gomez. How's it going, dudes?
I'm digging the intro.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever been called pragmatic in my life, but I'll take it right now.
Well, this is your first time on 5 in 5, but I told you the deal. You'll get 60 seconds to explain your picks for this weekend's USFL action. At 60 seconds, I don't mean to be rude, but I will cut you off because we've all got places to be and more lines to bet.
You told us last week that the New Orleans Breakers would be beating the Tampa Bay Bandits and the Jordan Ta'amu-led high-powered offense. People would have said you're absolutely crazy. But this week we have seen that Jordan Ta'amu is in fact human. Through 2 interceptions last week in a game that was a throwaway. There was no way that they were losing that game whatsoever, and yet Jordan Ta'amu still managed to throw 2 interceptions. They are going up against a tough defense this week that actually picked off, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the league in Brian Scott. Vontae Diggs picked off Brian Scott, ran it back for a touchdown, and really that was the difference in the game. But this is a much tougher defense that Ta'amu is facing this week, and I have a feeling that he is going to become a little more human in most of the USFL bettors. So give me the New Orleans Breakers at plus 125 for the upset in this game, because again, anything can happen in the USFL.
You're looking here and you're seeing one giant line among a lot of small lines, and you got to be thinking to yourself, I'm not going to actually get in on the Philly Stars being touchdown favorites over the Pittsburgh Maulers, but you should, because the Pittsburgh Maulers are absolute trash. Somehow they were absolutely worse than we projected them to be in our preseason projections. We projected that would be a team that would still manage to squeak out about 300 yards a game, and they came nowhere near that. They scored 3 points and managed 186 total yards. I could get more yardage walking through a defensive line, and I am fat and slow, and that's how the Maulers looked. I don't know if the chicken salad was slowing them down and they missed Davion Smith, but they should have eaten some pizza and kept Davion Smith if they wanted to run it that much. Plus,
I'm taking America's Gamblers team, the Houston Gamblers, and the Birmingham Stallions to go over 41.5 points. Last week, Birmingham was involved in the only game that basically hit the over and the highest scoring game in the weekend. They scored 28 points. And even if you took the Gamblers 17 points and added them to the 28 points Birmingham scored last week, you're going to get that as well. I have a feeling that this is going to be an opportunity for Birmingham to once again thrill the home crowd and to pull up a ton of points and cover this over again. Houston has some work to do. Their offense was a little anemic, especially in the second half, but I still have a feeling that they're going to put it together. This will all also hinge on whether or not Mark Thomas can go, but I have a feeling he's going to be running. So if he does, Houston's going to put up some points and put together with the Birmingham points, give you over 41.5 points for the weekend.
And I'm staying with that Philadelphia Stars and Pittsburgh Maulers game, because this is a Pittsburgh Maulers team that is absolute garbage. And the Philly Stars had the second best offense last week, and they looked good. And I'm excited. I think they're going to hit this over on their own without any help from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh and Philly over 36. Give me that Stars Philly over, because again, Philly offense was churning, firing all cylinders. The Maulers were giving up yards left and right, and it took some bad bounces for them to actually get some turnovers from Jordan Ta'amu. Brian Scott going to have some better luck. Love this over right here.
The New Jersey Generals were that close to being able to winning last week if it were not for a heroic effort by Jamar Smith in the last 30 seconds of that game. But this week they are going to swing back around, and I think they are actually going to win over the Michigan Panthers, who, yes, of course, they were very, very close to beating Houston but they are still led by Jeff Fisher, and he still needs to lose another game to get to 0-2 before he can try to find his way to around 500 toward the end of it. But I think New Jersey has got the firepower between their running quarterback, DeAndre Johnson, and of course their throwing quarterback, Luis Perez. I think they have enough firepower to get past this Jeff Fisher led Michigan Panthers team. Give me the Generals money line -125.
Okay, just to recap, we got the Breakers money line versus the Bandits at +125. Got the Stars -6.5 versus the Maulers. We've got the Gamblers and Stallions over for the game total at 41.5. We have the Stars Maulers total over 36. And the Generals money line versus the Panthers at -125. Please like this video if you're going to bet any of these picks. And if you are betting other picks, let us know in the comments, and Rod and Adam may come after you in the comments section. That's it for the first USFL edition of 5 in 5. We'll be back next week with 5 more USFL best bets for week 3.
I like to switch it, gonna switch it up.